Hi there, welcome to this tutorial on simultaneous equations using the elimination method. This is part 2. Please view part 1 before you actually view part 2 because it's easier and you need to use that to build up to doing these types of equations. It's more complicated, this one, because if you have a look at this example, we've got x terms and y terms, but we're not going to be able to multiply one equation by a single number to get it equal to the other equation. If you have a look at trying to make the x's the same, we'd have to multiply the 4 by 1.5, and we don't want to use fractional multipliers because it makes it more complicated. We want to keep these as integers. So what we're going to do on this one, let's label this 1 and 2 first of all. We're going to look to make either the x's or the y's the same. Personal preference for me is to make the ones the same that have the opposite signs. I prefer to do it like that because then I can add the equations together afterwards rather than subtract them. So I'm going to make the y's the same. What is a multiple of both 5 and 3? Well, these both go into 15. So what I'm going to look to do is multiply each equation by a value that gives me the y's as 15. The first one I'm going to need to multiply by 3, and the second one I'm going to need to multiply by 5, because 3 times 5 gives 15, 5 times 3 gives 15. So I'm going to change both the equations. Start with the first one. 3 times 6x is 18x, 3 times minus 5 is minus 15y, and 3 times minus 2 is minus 6. Second one. 5 times 4x is 20x, 5 times 3y is positive 15y, and 5 times 24 gives you 120. Step 1, complete. Step 2, look at the signs. Are they the same? They're not. They're different. If they're different, we add the two equations together. So let's add these two together. 18x add 20x gives you 38x. Minus 15 add 15 takes you to 0. The y's are now eliminated. And minus 6 add 120 gives you 114. Step 2 done. Step 3, solve the equation. Well, 38x equals 114. I need to divide both sides by 38. 114 divided by 38 is 3. So I've got my value for x equals 3. Step 4. Substitute the value for x back into equation 1 and solve. So here I'm going to have to put the value for 3 back into my first equation. So I get 6, let's just use brackets there, 6 times 3 minus 5y equals negative 2. Well, 6 times 3 is 18, so 18 minus 5y equals negative 2. I've now just got to solve that equation, take the 18 away from both sides, so I'm left with minus 5y equals minus 20, and then divide both sides by the negative 5, and I'm left with y equals a positive 4 because negative 20 divided by a negative gives me a positive answer.